A few weeks ago, we posted this quote in our community. We asked people what it meant to them, and you guys gave us some incredible answers. One that stood out was from a user who said, "It is a constant battle between being proud of how far you've come and being hungry for what you haven't achieved yet." That is beautifully put. So let's talk about that. There are two parts to greatness. The first is where you've been, and the second is where you're going. Looking back, I see I've failed so many times, endured so much, and made so many sacrifices to get where I am today. It makes me incredibly proud. But now there's another part, which is looking forward and realizing that if I want to keep growing, if I want to keep pushing further, then it's gonna take even more from me. And the problem is, most people aren't willing to give it that much. They're not willing to sacrifice that much. And that's why they never reach their full potential. If you really want to be great at something, you have to love it more than anything else. Nothing else matters. Your friends, your family, your work, your school, all of it. If you really want to be great, you will cut off everything that distracts you. You'll cut off everything that pulls you away from your goals because you know what the alternative is. The alternative is settling. The alternative is giving up. The alternative is going to bed every night knowing that you could have done more. Every time you post on social media, ask yourself this: will this make me regret it one day? Because there's nothing worse than looking back and seeing all those wasted years, all those opportunities you blew, all those moments you chose wrong. Now, this doesn't mean that you should stop having fun, but it does mean that you should choose wisely. Ask yourself what's important and what's not. One thing I did was I stopped watching TV completely. People always tell me, "Oh, you should watch this show. It's so good. You love it." And I never do. I don't watch any TV. I don't play any games. I'm not on social media. That way nothing can distract me. I'm completely focused. And when you have that kind of focus, that kind of discipline, that kind of drive, you start to see results. You start to see progress, and that keeps you motivated to keep going. When you get into this mode, the world looks different. Everything looks different. You'll find yourself analyzing everything. You'll find yourself constantly improving. Every day you'll wake up feeling like you have something to prove. Not to anyone else, but to yourself. Not because you want to look better than everyone else, or have more money than everyone else, or have more followers than everyone else, but because you want to prove to yourself that you can do it. You want to show yourself that you're capable of achieving your goals. And when you have that kind of mindset, you become unstoppable. You start to see results. You start to get recognition. People start to notice you. But this is also the point where things can go wrong, because when you're successful, everyone wants to be a part of your life. Everyone wants to be your friend. Everyone wants to talk to you. Everyone wants to be around you. And it's hard to say no. It's hard to turn people down. It's hard to ignore the ones that you've ignored for so long. But you have to remember why you started in the first place. You have to remember the sacrifices you've made. You have to remember the price you've paid. Don't forget that. Never forget that. Another thing that happens is that other people start to resent you. Other people start to hate you. Maybe you used to be just like them and now you're not. Maybe you left them behind and now they're jealous. Maybe you made it out and they're still stuck where they are. Whatever it is, don't let it bother you. Don't let it slow you down. Keep moving forward. Remember why you started. Remember the sacrifices you've made. Remember the price you've paid. Don't stop now. I get messages from people telling me that I don't deserve this success. I don't deserve this recognition. I don't deserve this platform. They say that I got lucky, or that I am only successful because of who I know, or that I bought my success. To all of that, I say shut up. Work harder. Some of you think that I didn't sacrifice for this. You're wrong. I sacrificed for this. I hustled for this. I worked harder than anyone else for this. Being great takes more than you think. It takes an insane amount of hard work, dedication, discipline, focus. It takes countless hours of practice, countless hours of studying, countless hours of learning. It takes putting your life on hold. It takes making sacrifices that other people aren't willing to make. It takes pushing through pain, through injuries, through setbacks, through failures. It takes getting up when everyone else has given up. It takes keeping going when everyone else has stopped believing. It takes having the courage to keep going when no one else believes in you anymore. You have to be willing to go through all of that and more. You have to be willing to pay the price, and then you still might not make it. You might still fail. You might still fall short. That's the risk you take when you decide to go after greatness. If you're willing to take that risk, then go for it. But if you're not, then don't complain about being average. I'm not saying that everyone should strive to be the best, the greatest, the most successful. I'm just saying that if you want to be, then you have to be willing to pay the price. Most people aren't. Most people would rather be average. They would rather be safe. They would rather live a life of mediocrity than a life of greatness. But here's the thing. You can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be average and aspire to be great at the same time. You have to make a choice. You have to choose greatness over mediocrity. You have to choose to pay the price. I remember reading a book called The 80-20th Principle, and it talks about how 80% of the effects comes from 20% of the causes. For example, 80% of the sales comes from 20% of the customers. So if you want to be great at sales, you should focus on the 20% of customers that bring in 80% of the sales. I realized that I could apply this principle to my own life. 80% of my results came from 20% of my efforts. So I decided to double down on the 20%. For example, I realized that 20% of my content was bringing in 80% of my views. So I decided to focus on that type of content. I doubled down on that type of content, and my results went through the roof. My views went through the roof. And here's the thing. You can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be average and aspire to be great at the same time. You have to make a choice. You have to choose greatness over mediocrity. You have to choose to pay the price. I hope that makes sense. I hope that inspires you. I hope that motivates you to go after your dreams, to go after your goals, to go after your ambitions. I know how hard it is to do that. I know how much it hurts to sacrifice. I know how much it sucks to give up on the things you love. But I also know how amazing it feels to succeed. I know how great it feels to achieve your goals. I know how proud you'll be when you look back and see how far you've come. So if you're willing to pay the price, then go for it. If you're not, then don't complain about being average. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video.